A new bill, SB-145. It's getting a lot of negative attention from people on both sides of the aisle. SB-145 would lower penalties for adults convicted of sex crimes with minors. And joining us to talk a little bit more about this bill is California State Senator Shannon Grove. Senator, thank you for talking to us tonight.
Oh, absolutely, Ginger. Thank you very much for the invitation to discuss this important issue.
You know, this is along a framework of stories that I cover heavily, passionately here in San Diego, and I've been flooded with folks just not happy at all about this bill. This bill was created by Senator Scott Wiener in San Francisco. Can you explain to us or give us an example of how it would work?
So, I mean, we're going to have a frank conversation about this bill because this bill does affect our children. SB 145 would remove the requirement for offenders to register as sex offenders if they were committing certain sex crimes with minors and there was a 10-year age gap. So like from 14 to 23, 15 to 24, as long as the perpetrator is within a 10-year age gap of the victim. The crimes that are excluded that make this bill even more detrimental are non-forcible oral copulation, non-forcible sodomy, and non-forcible sexual penetration by a foreign object. So let's just talk about that for a second. A 14-year-old being, brought into a situation where she or he endures this type of act, and then the perpetrator says, well, it was voluntary or they wanted to. This is something that parents need to stand up everywhere. They need to call the governor and they need to say, veto this bill.
Yeah, because right there, a 14-year-old cannot give consent. They are below the age. So how can they say it's voluntary?
Under this bill, the 14-year-old will be able to give consent to those types of sex acts. If they did, or if they were coerced into it, we just need to protect our children so that individuals that are 24 years old, 23 adults cannot have sex with minors. And the author is saying that he wants to bring parity for the LGBTQ community. Well, the way we bring parity is we change the law so that our children are protected, not add to them to being able to perpetrate these crimes against our children.
You know, this bill has bipartisan opposition, but somehow it has passed through both houses, and now it's actually headed to the governor's desk. So is this a done deal?
So it's not a done deal. If parents watching this show, and I thank you very much for putting it on, will call 916-445-2841. That's 916-445-2841, and tell the governor not to sign this bill. We need to protect our children. And this bill does not protect our children, and it actually exposes them to more crimes than if this bill didn't pass. And we need to make sure that our children are protected. So again, call 916-445-2841 and tell the governor to veto this bill.
Talk to me a little bit about the opposition, because again, it was brought forward by a Democrat, but I'm reading bipartisan support against it. So how did it get through both the House and the Senate?
Well, it had enough votes on the Senate side. I believe it had 26 votes or 28 votes. I don't have the vote count. I do apologize. But the Senate passed it and it went to the Assembly and the Assembly passed it. Not one Republican voted for this bill. Not one Republican voted for this bill, either in the Senate or in the Assembly, because we want to make sure that parents have the right to protect their children, and the law does not allow perpetrators to come after 14-year-old children. This bill does provide a provision, which I should cover, that the judge has discretion to make that decision to where if it was a true perpetrator, or was it consensual. But we still need to protect this. That doesn't satisfy my issues on this bill, and it shouldn't satisfy parents. We need to make sure that our children are protected, and a 14-year-old should not have to be dealing with this subject matter.
Yeah, as a parent, it's shocking to see that a 14-year-old can be qualified to give consent. Well, you know what? We also cover AB 5 quite a bit here at KUSI. I would love to get your input on the Senate Republicans' efforts to amend AB 2257, which is aiming to correct all the sloppiness of AB 5. Tell me about that.
So we did the last night of session when AB 2257 did come up. Republicans put forth 9 sets of amendments. My amendments repealed AB 5 altogether. Republicans believe that independent contractors, and we believe in worker freedom. So if you want to be an independent contractor, then you want worker freedom and you want to set your own hours, then do that. We believe you should be able to do that. The Democrats, on the other hand, want to put you in a situation where you're easily organized for the union purposes. And Republicans stand to fight with you against this bill. It's a horrible bill. And that's evident with all the stuff that had to be cleaned up in this bill with this year. And I promise you there will be more cleanup next year because people are voicing their opposition on this bill. They want worker freedom. Musicians, tattoo artists, referees, franchisees, salon owners. Everybody wants to be able to have worker freedom. If you want a job where you are required to work certain hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and you want that type of job, apply and work for that type of company. But you should be able to be an entrepreneur, a franchisee owner. You think about that one just for a second. You're a McDonald's owner. You own 6 McDonald's. They're your businesses, and you yourself are an employee of the McDonald's Corporation, and you have to be paid, and hours have to be set by the McDonald's Corporation. That's just insane. Uber Lyft drivers. I have a single father. I looked at his Facebook post in my district when his kids went to see the mother of the children. He made $300 one night. When you look at $300 a week on one night, that's a substantial increase in your income on a monthly basis. And people should have the right to work how they want to work. And Republicans support worker freedom.
Yeah, freedom. That is the key phrase there. So one more time for anybody that missed the very beginning, we were discussing SB 145. If you want to find out more, we're going to have a link on our website, including the number that you call if you do not agree with the provisions of SB 145. Senator Grove, I really appreciate your time tonight and for all the work you're doing up in Sacramento.
Thank you, Ginger, for the opportunity.
All right, be well.
Bakay Howard, Dr. Howard Shai, Kala, Bantan Howard Shai, Bantan Howard Kakadash. Give honor to the elder apostle of great will, to rule well, and to citation the honor and put to the truth, across the four corners of the earth, to the fear of power, Yahweh, Bantan Howard Shai, to the hope of elect. And who the world inwardly call God, his name Yahweh. And who the world inwardly call Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai. All right, whether he really like that consistent of so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, it's Mahari call from the great milestone at the end of the camp. Back with another lesson. Here he at it again, California. I fucking hate this state. But, that's where, the Lord had me at to be a part of this ministry to prophesy against this wicked kingdom in the state of California. All right? So here we at. Yeah, I'm going to put the clip from this video that the brother uploaded. All right, your pro production. I think it's about like 5 minutes long. So this could be a lesson on the back end of that video of new people reporting on this bill in the state of California. California legislature reduces penalty for oral anal sex with ruling children. All right. So what they're saying is, all right, I went to the website. So what they're saying is, they don't have to register as a felony, nor do they have to register as a sex offender. Because, if you're a sex offender, you have to register. So if you move to a neighborhood, you can't live in a 30-mile of a school, so people in the neighborhood know that there's somebody in the neighborhood. So they're saying if it wasn't forced upon a minor with the age of consent in the state of California is 18. So how can a minor consent that they wanted anal or other nasty shit. All right, so basically that's what they're saying. If they were consensual, they don't have to register as sex offender or have a felony charge on their record. All right, which so this is back in 2020. All right, so roughly 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. All right. The late Monday, just before the legislative session expired, Senate Bill 145 passed the California State Assembly 4118. So all the Democrats voted for it, and none of the Republicans voted for it. We know that that really don't mean nothing, but it's just to show you that the Democrat passed it nonetheless. And the state Senate, which 32 to 10, the 10 is all the Republicans. All right, which you will see in the production. All right, the lady explaining that. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, but Post shared thousands of times claiming that the pro-pedophilia legislation had actually passed a day earlier by a vote of 52 and been construed in content. But anyway, now we go all the way down. There's no upwards in it for the people either. Fucking homo ass state. Alright. Legislation unrelated to whether sex with minor is a misdemeanor or felony. It said accordingly, any sex act with a person younger than 18 is a crime. So whether it is a misdemeanor or felony depends on the age of the people involved according to the California Penal Code. So basically saying if they're within a 10-year range. So if the person is 14 and the person that did a sexual act on them that's 24, then it don't have to be a felony. It could be a misdemeanor. Even though, like I said, it's under 18, it's a crime. But they want to lessen the penalty. And that's a big deal, okay? So that's basically creating an environment for people to do it. Because they'll know, oh, I'll just get a misdemeanor for it. As opposed to a felony, all right? So, you know what we're going to do? Get scripture. Let's go for Sodom and Gomorrah. It's Isaiah. It was 5:1. It's Isaiah 5:21 to them that call evil good and good evil. All right, that's what they're doing. Because you're not saying, oh, it's not that evil no more. You're trying to make it a light thing. You're trying to make it a good thing. Because felony and a misdemeanor is two different things. All right? People that into this type of stuff will be more willing to take a misdemeanor charge as opposed to a felony. So now you're making it what? You're not making it an evil thing no more. Okay? That put darkness for light and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. All right? And that's what they're doing. Yeah, I did. Isaiah 3 and 9. It said, Isaiah 3 and 9, it said, the souls of their continent do it witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom, because Sodom is what? The sin of Sodom, alright? Yeah, they call it sodomy, but anal theft is not really, it's the new definition for anal theft is sodomy, but actually the true definition of sodomy is the sin of Sodom, alright? The Sodom was a place, alright, and the people was into sexual wickedness, alright, sexual deviation, okay, and into anal theft, bestiality, homos, woman on woman, man on man. They were into all that. So that was the sin of Sodom. Okay? They declare it like they hide it not. Woe unto their souls, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. Right. So ultimately, that's what they're going to. That's another reason why America's going to be destroyed. All right? How much I'm trying to have to destroy this place. Because it's sexual wickedness. All right? It's perverse. Man, it's just gotta go. You get to the point you got a word for it, but just destroy this place. Okay, well, let's check it out in NLT. The very look on their face to give them away. They display their sin like the people of Sodom. Okay, they display their sin as the people of Sodom. And it's a prime example. It's right here. All right, having sex with kids. And don't even try to hide it. They are doomed. They have brought destruction upon themselves. See that? Tell the godly that all will be well for them. They will enjoy the rich reward they have earned, right? The elect. Okay. Verse 11. But the wicked are doomed, but they will get exactly what they deserve. See that? So also that could start with Esau, Edom, all right, the so-called white man, and 2/3 of our people, all right, that are wicked. Okay. Now, instead they show their continent, all right, and declare their sin at Sodom, right, and then we have examples. Sodom was an example of what not to do. Okay. This is Jeremiah 6 and 15. Were they ashamed when they had committed abomination? Nay, they were not at all ashamed. These motherfuckers proud. All right, these Rainbow Coalition people are some prideful ass people. All right, especially these Transformers. Okay, nay, they were not at all ashamed. Neither could they blush. Okay. Therefore they shall fall among them that fall. At the time that I will visit them, they shall be cast down, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shai. See? The Most High going to kill these people. All right? With nuclear fire destruction. All right, but that's not what I was looking for. So. But that was a good scripture to put in. You know what? It's Genesis 13 and 13. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinner before the Lord Yahweh tried exceedingly. So if the Lord had destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for their wickedness and being sinners, all right, then it's what? Transgressing the law. But you got these Christians saying that, oh, God loves the sinner. All right. No, he hates the sinner. Because why? Because you're transgressing the law. So what makes you think you're going to get away with for doing the same thing that Sodom was doing? Okay? You're not. Genesis 18:20, and the Lord Yahweh said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether. Okay? According to the cry of it, which should come unto me, and if not, I will know. All right, and just down now. All right, the sin have reached unto what is it? The iniquity have reached unto the up to the heavens. What I'm paraphrasing? Because just to say also, who will stand up for me against the evildoer? And that's what we're doing, the men of the Lord, trying with the elder apostle, wait, melting on down. We're standing up against this wicked ass place, condemning it. Okay? So let's go. 2 Peter 2:6, and turning the city of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after shall live ungodly. So like we said, we read earlier, the Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed for what they did because they were wicked and sinners, and it was set as an example of what happened if you do that, getting destroyed by fire and brimstone. All right, this time around, it'll be destroyed by what? Thermonuclear missile. Because you can read the next chapter over, 2 Peter 3, how the fire or stored in heaven for the day of destruction, for judgment. All right, which is one of the reasons why America is going to be destroyed. Unto those that should live ungodly, and deliver us Lot, vested with the filthy conversation of the wicked, right? All that is filthy conversation, okay? All that rainbow talk, transformer stuff, is filthy conversation, okay? And that's what the wicked of the world conversation is, all right? Just like I made mention in 2 Peter 3, read down, it said, then all these things shall be dissolved, what manner in all holy conversations you shall be. All right, talking about the scripture, the prophecy, okay? Prophesying, occupying the prophecy, that's what we should be, the spirit we should be in. And same thing we're doing with today, all right? You want to get it right, stuff like this, all right? That's wicked, and it's vested, all right? Because we have kids, all right? For that righteous man dwelling among them, which is us, and seeing and hearing, vetted his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. Okay? And that's just what I wanted to get. I remember now. All that I did. Alright, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Okay? And they're prescribing unrighteous decree. Okay? The lesson, the penalty of of oil, anal sex with willing children. All right, and also if they are in the 10-year range of that kid. So the a, 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 19-year-old messed with a 9-year-old, it's not a felony no more because that's a 10-year range. All right. So on to them that decree, unrighteous decree, that right grievousness which they have prescribed. And NLT, what thought await the unjust judges and those who issue unfair law. See? And we know what's gonna happen to them. That's right there, what thought await. Okay? You look at the word await. Like it's trouble. Okay? And they're going to be in some serious trouble. Alright? Now back to the scripture. 2 Peter. Alright? 2 Peter 2:8, for that righteous man is dwelling among them, and thieves and hearing vetted righteous though from day to day with an unlawful deed. Okay? And it's an unlawful, unrighteous deed, decree, law. In the NLT, 30, I think again, later Yahweh condemned the city of Sodom and Gomorrah and turned them into a heap of ashes. He made it an example of what will happen to ungodly people. All right, they here in America, and what California's doing. But Yahweh also rescued Lot out of Sodom because he was a righteous man who was sick of the shameful immortality of the wicked people around him. And we're doing the same shit here. All right? And Lord, when we get delivered out of this fire, destruction to come. Okay? Because Lot represents the elect that can be delivered out of America. Yes, Lot was a righteous man who was tormented in his soul by the wickedness he saw and heard day after day. See that? And we're seeing all this shit, man. And that's why we're condemning it and prophesying against this bullshit. Gotta deal with these fucking transformers, alright, these moles, alright, in the public, at work. You gotta worry about it's a transformer or a mole coming after your kid. So yeah, we're gonna prophesize and think about this shit. And this is one of the main reasons why this shit got to burn and fire. Alright? This is why hell had to come on earth. So you see, the Lord knows how to rescue godly people from their trials. See that? Even while keeping the wicked under punishment until the day of final judgment. Hey, so these people are going to be preserved for that ultimate judgment, all right? Fire, as the scripture stated. Okay, last scripture, Jude 1. And 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the city about them in like manner giving themselves over to fornication, okay, and going after strange flesh, like I said earlier, Sodom, they were into bestiality, okay, or step forth from the example suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. And that's what happened in this place, all right, especially fucking California. To me, this is the worst state to live in. And and don't forget Sodom and Gomorrah and her neighboring town, which were filled with immortality and every kind of sexual perversion, anal, mole, transformer, bestiality, They were into all that. Death with minor. They were into all that. Those cities were destroyed by fire and served as a warning of the eternal fire of Yahweh's judgment. Beautiful, man. So, hey, rightfully so, this place needs to burn up. The hell with this place. With that, to all Yahweh, to all Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom.